Hello, I'm Marcie Chapa. I'm here in rehearsals in New York for us at SIR for Beyoncé, getting ready for our new world tour. I grew up in Houston, Texas. I was like 11 years old and my mom said I had to be involved in something, so I chose drums due to my mom because she said it was cheaper for me to do it. So I was a hyper child, so it kind of worked out right for me, and ended up being a natural gift. And I got a drum set, and then I started playing to like Tone Loc, MC Hammer, and then my older brother, who happened to be a trumpet player that played jazz, threw on some music for me. So this is real music. He threw on some Maynard Ferguson, some Buddy Rich, some Miles Davis. Kind of fell in love with it, so I just started mimicking everything that I would hear. After junior high, I went into high school band, and then I got involved into the marching band and the jazz band there, and into the symphonic band, percussion ensemble. So I did all that through high school, and then by the time my senior year came, we created an Afro-Cuban group, and that's where all of a sudden I started realizing about Latin percussion. But I was still, fond of my drum set, but Latin percussion started coming into my life, and I started understanding what timbales were, what congas were, what bongos were. So that's how my transition started going around. Right before I left high school, I performed at my last concert, and John Faddis, great jazz trumpet player, saw me play and said, "You belong in New York." So he called the New School, which is now called the New School University, and I auditioned and I got a scholarship. So then I came out here to New York. Got a chance to study with Lewis Nash, Chico Hamilton, Michael Carver. And I was only here for a year, but I learned a lot, and it made me grow as a musician, to the next level, which I love jazz, but financially had to go back home, couldn't afford the New York life. I got a phone call to sub out a gig because they didn't have a player. It was pretty much a Santana cover band. And so I show up and I needed to play only timbales. That's all they needed me to play. While doing the gig, I realized, wow, I like this. This is fun. To me it was more creative, that I was locked in and I was all about one thing, and I have to worry about my whole entire octopus body. Started playing 3 or 4 nights a week, and then after about a year or two, I got a phone call from a local salsa band. And it was predominantly a Cuban band, and me not being Cuban, it was a little difficult at first because I didn't know the traditional styles. I knew how to mimic what I heard. So they pretty much drilled me and trained me. This is how it goes, this is what you do. And they started stuffing music down my head, music every day, listen, and I would just do that every day. And then finally, I just fell in love with the whole timba style, and I started listening to Los Bon Bon and just anybody that I could just get my hands on with that music. My name started coming around in Houston, and then people started calling me when bands would come in town. It was in any style, it wasn't necessarily Latin music. I got a phone call to do a gig for this R&B hip-hop artist, Juvenile's a rapper. During that time, I actually had to play congas, so that was when I was starting to veer off and learn more and more congas that I could learn. When I did that gig, I realized I'm liking the whole total percussion gig. When I got back to Houston, that opened my eyes that I wanted to do I didn't want to be known as a timbalera or just a timbala player. I wanted to play everything. I started going out to the R&B gigs in Houston and gotten called for more percussion sessions, playing percussion on, big major gigs in Houston. They would come in town. Did that for about 3 years or so, and then eventually I get a phone call about an audition for Beyoncé. And I auditioned. And here I am. Been doing that gig for 3 years now and getting ready to go on tour again for our second major tour. We're gonna be touring the world, starting off in Canada, going to Europe, States, and then back overseas, seeing everything. I've tried every stick possible out there, and I have to say, nobody can get close to the way my hands feel on these sticks. So I use the AJ5s, and I use them on drum set. I use them, they sound great for my timbale sticks. I don't like timbale sticks. So these are the closest to both, you know, and I can use them. It's a versatile stick for me, and I love them, and I couldn't choose anybody else. I am Marcie Chapa, and I am rolling 60 notes with Firth.